Okay, actually, I will stop sharing just for now to say hello and welcome to all of those who are showing up live. My sincerest apologies. I know that I didn't send out the links to some people. I sent out the wrong links to other people. I kind of screwed it all up today. So very sorry about that. Just got so much going on in the background and I wasn't paying attention to the details. So I'm very pleased that you are here. It is lovely to have you on the call today. So what I'm going to do is get straight into the presentation. So this is the Passion, Purpose, Profit presentation: how to build wealth, fulfilling your soul purpose, and make a dent in the universe, in the multiverse. In fact, make a dent in the multiverse. So what I am sharing with you today, I am not holding back. And this is actually more of a workshop than, it's why I sort of call it a power class, because it's like a hybrid. I'm going to get you to interact. I'm going to get you to actually participate and do some exercises as I'm going through this, because it is my intention, it is always my intention to actually transform your life in some way, shape, or form. And it might only be what seems to be the slightest shift. It can make a massive difference. And I want to honor your time today by ensuring that it is being spent. You could be doing a gazillion other things. So I want to make sure that you get something really tangible out of today's training and presentation. So let's crack on. And there will be questions at the end. So if you want to ask questions, what if you could build wealth while fulfilling your soul mission and make a dent in the multiverse? Is that something that appeals to you? You don't necessarily have to type it into the chat, but is that something that really lights you up? The thought of fulfilling your soul mission and building wealth simultaneously, is that something that would be like a dream come true for you? Making a difference in the world and building wealth at the same time? Because if it is, then you are definitely in the right place. So my mission is to empower 100,000 impact-driven entrepreneurs to build wealth, fulfilling their soul mission. So why do I want to do that? Because together we can change the world. And I'm going to stop sharing right now, but that's what this t-shirt is all about. The Conscious Billionaire. It's all about impacting 1 billion lives across the planet. And I don't do that on my own. I do that by empowering people like you, people who want to make a difference, by inspiring you and empowering you to really step into your true power and to leverage your core genius to be able to make a difference in the world. And together, by doing that, we can change the world. So that is my main focus and the reason that I do these classes. So Passion, Purpose, Profit. What am I going to cover today? I'm going to talk about the answer to all your money problems, why most people never achieve their financial goals, the key to being spiritual and wealthy, discovering your soul mission, how to impact millions and build wealth fast, how to heal your relationship with money, and the keys to unlocking the secrets of the universe. So some of this will be similar to what I have done in previous classes, but there are some key and fundamental differences. So let's get on with, are you a conscious entrepreneur, an impact-driven entrepreneur, a spiritual entrepreneur? Because this is actually an important question, because my audience is in these one or all of these categories. So you are very focused on wanting to make a difference. And there is a very specific difference between entrepreneurs who they're financially focused, they're money driven, they're profit driven, as opposed to being driven by making an impact driven entrepreneurs. And there are some those fundamental differences. I'll tell you a little story. in that that I had a coach who I was chatting with last year, and he was like a marketing strategy coach. And I said to him that my focus, my key target audience is spiritual entrepreneurs. And he went, no. Oh, what do you mean? No. He said, well, no, you cannot target spiritual entrepreneurs. Why not? He said, because they just never make any money. Spiritual entrepreneurs, they never make any money. And yes, in some contexts, he actually does have a point, because spiritual, impact-driven, conscious entrepreneurs, the fundamental difference between this group of people and profit-driven entrepreneurs is that they kind of forget about a key piece, which is the financial piece. And there are a lot of spiritual entrepreneurs out there who are broke AF. And that is something that I would like to change, or not I would like to change. It is something I would like to help change, because I can't change that for anybody, but I can empower spiritual entrepreneurs to actually flip that equation. So I took what he said on board for a while, and I was in a deep state of conflict, because I was like, well, like, you've just destroyed my whole business model, dude. And I floundered for a bit. And then I thought, you know what? Screw you, buddy. Screw you. I'm going to prove you wrong. And I'm going to help conscious, impact-driven spiritual entrepreneurs to be wealthy AF. So together we can change the world. And I am not working with that coach anymore. There are other people that he can work with, just not me. So if you're in this category, then you are definitely in the right place. And it doesn't mean that you want to sit on a mountain and meditate for the rest of your life. It just means that you want to make a difference in the world and a positive impact in the world. If you look at somebody like Elon Musk, he is an impact-driven entrepreneur. He is just also very profit-driven at the same time. So this is the time for the rise of the conscious entrepreneur. And I truly mean this, and I want you to really embody this ideal, basically. So the rise of the conscious entrepreneur is because we have a lot of problems on this planet, and a lot of it has been created by profit-driven entrepreneurs. And it is now time to flip that. It is time for conscious entrepreneurs, impact-driven entrepreneurs, to really step up their game, to take their power, own their power, to step onto the playing field and to actually change the game. And I truly believe that entrepreneurs in this space are about ready to explode and start to really take over the corporate world, the entrepreneurial world. And that's what I am passionate about, being a part of a movement that and helping people who really want to change the game around the planet. So just recognize and know that it is the time for the rise of the conscious entrepreneur. And this means that there are a lot of social entrepreneurs. They're also called social entrepreneurs. So there's one organization called Who Gives a Crap, which I love. Now, if you're in the United States, you probably don't know Who Gives a Crap is. And they actually sell toilet paper, believe it or not. But you buy a box of 48, which, let me tell you, was really handy when there was a big run on toilet paper a couple of years ago. It's really handy to have a big box of toilet paper stuck in my cupboard. And but they are environmentally friendly, so they sell bamboo and they sell recycled ones, and they're a great product. But they take a large percentage of their profits and they help to build toilets and sanitation in third world countries, because what's one of the biggest problems in third world countries? Sanitation. People dying of diseases that we don't even hear of in the first world anymore because of our cleanliness and our hygiene that they don't have access to, or they just don't understand. So that is a social enterprise, and man, they do extremely well. They make bucket loads of money. So there is so much room for expansion in this space, and more people, consumers, are voting with their feet, and they are choosing the social enterprise or the conscious enterprise over a general profit-driven model, okay? Because consciousness is shifting around the planet. It really is. So are you ready to live your best life? If you are ready to live your best life, then you are definitely in the right place. And the question is, what does that look like? So what does your best life look like? When was the last time you thought about that? Is this image something that appeals to you? Or is there something else that you would like to be doing, or some other place that you would like to be? But are you ready to live your best life? Because if you are, then you need to vote in favor of you. You need to vote in favor of you. You need to back yourself 100%, and you need to go all in on whatever your best life looks like. So give me an impact-driven entrepreneur who is committed to building wealth and changing the world, and within 100 days, they will have an extra 100K in their business. I am committed to anybody who is ready to commit to themselves. I'm committed to help you as a conscious entrepreneur to achieve this. And if that's something that appeals to you, then I'm putting this up here because there are some of you who may not make it to the end of this presentation. I'm going to give you an opportunity to actually copy that address down. If you wish to, this will be available at the end of the presentation as well. But if you wish to book a strategy call with me, if you are the kind of person who wants to really get out of that Groundhog Day of stuckness, and you are ready to really accelerate your progress, then you can book a free strategy call with me, and I will help you in multiple ways, and we can talk about whether or not it's a good idea for us to work together. Now, you'll know by the end of this presentation whether I'm somebody you want to work with, but I'm not here to sell you anything today. I'm just here to actually help to facilitate your progress and help you to get the best out of your gifts, your talents, your expertise. So I am not here to make friends today. And there are probably going to be people who will not be on this presentation by the end of the presentation, because my brand is called Pitbull. And today the Pitbull is in the house. I was really thinking hard yesterday. I was actually supposed to do this presentation yesterday. I went, no, it's not right. Something needs to change. I need to really step up, and I'm going to talk about some really hard truths today. So I'm going to stop sharing for a minute because I want to eyeball you. And here's the thing. The vast majority of society is addicted to comfort and convenience. We just are. We have been, we've been conditioned into comfort and convenience. I watched a short little video yesterday. This is just an aside, but about how they harvest sunflower seeds. Now, I can go to the shop and buy a packet of sunflower seeds for, like, I don't know, $6, maybe less, this packet of sunflower seeds. Watching these people in I don't know if it's first world, but it's certainly not the world that I live in. Sorry, third world. Harvest sunflower seeds. I was like, man, we take so much of our comfort and convenience for granted. We just go and pick stuff up at the supermarket, and we have no concept or idea of what labor went in to harvesting that product. And then it's, bought by a big conglomerate, and then it's packaged and it's shipped all over the world. I have no idea how much those workers get, but it ain't a lot for the work that they do. And it's damned hard work, and they do it day in and day out. Meanwhile, those of us in the first world country, where, we've got everything just laid on for us. Are things getting tougher? Yes. We have all these crises that are unfolding around the world, and things are getting tougher. The thing is, though, that if at some point, we have to do what is hard if we want things to change and we want to experience the life that we want to live. If we want to experience our goals, our dreams, then at some point we have to do what's hard. We have to get out of our comfort zone. We have to embrace the discomfort of the challenges that we're going to face if we truly are dedicated and committed to building wealth and to making a difference in the world. Because anything worthwhile, any big dream is going to test you. It's going to push you probably to your limits. And this is where the law of attraction, it is working 24/7 without a doubt. But also the law of attraction really appealed to our sense of just wanting everything given to us. Everything just, oh, if I just sit and meditate long enough, then it'll just land in my lap and I won't have to move off the couch. Now, we all want it to be easy. Tell me somebody, if you show me somebody who says, well, I want it to be hard, yeah, they're lying. We all want it to be really freaking easy. I would love to sit on my couch and make millions of dollars and not have to do a damn thing. But the reality of the world that we live in is that if you want to achieve something great, if you want to really build wealth, then you're going to have to participate. This is not a spectator sport. And I really want to bring this home today. So by all means, leverage the law of attraction through your focus, through visualization, all of that. It works, but you still have to get in the game. You still have to get on the field. You still have to play full out. It's both. It's not one or the other. It's both. And you're going to have to get out of your comfort zone, and you're going to have to clear out the crap, the mind crap. I was going to say something else, but the mind crap that's going on up here. And that takes work. So I just want us to be on the same page. It can be incredibly rewarding. And let me say that if it were really easy, everybody would be doing it and everybody would be bored AF in a really short period of time. It might seem nice for a start if you're sipping Mai Tais in Costa Rica and somebody's bringing you drinks while the money's rolling into your bank account. But if you didn't do something for that, then it would get very boring very fast. So I just wanted to lay that out for you. And that's where there are some people who are not necessarily going to like my message today, because I'm not here to pee in your pocket or blow smoke up your proverbial. I'm here to make a difference in your life. I'm not here to be your friend. And I'm not here just to make sales. Is this a part of my wealth creation business strategy? Abso-freaking-lutely. But I know that 99% of people will never work with me, and that's okay. I want to transform your life regardless. So now that we've got that out of the way, we live in a world where there is there's loads of lies. There's loads of deception. There's loads of corruption. And it's going on in basically just about every system that we have trusted at one point. We are now finding out that we cannot trust those systems. We cannot trust the people who run those systems. And while the lies are coming out, the truth is now coming out, and it can be pretty disconcerting. So what do we do about this? This is why I am passionate about the rise of the conscious entrepreneur, because now that the truth is coming out, and this has been going on, the lies, the deception, the corruption, the manipulation has been going on for thousands of years, if not tens of thousands of years. If not, this game has been going on for millions of years. There is dark and light on this planet. And the dark has been playing us big time. The darkness has been playing us. And now that the truth is coming out, now we have an opportunity to end that game. It's end game. So when we now hold on to the truth, when we now bring the light, and we use that as our opportunity to really step into our power, and we come from a source of truth, and we live from that place, and we build our empires, our wealth empires, our business empires from that place, universe, source, light will fully support us to do that. That's why this is our time, and it is time to change the game. So a part of the lies and the truth situation is the money situation. So you are wired to fail with money. If you are struggling with money, then it's not really your fault. It is, but it isn't. Because society, our parents, the environment that we grew up in literally wired us to fail with money. As we are wired to fail with money, we get into the debt trap, we get into the slave cycle. So we become slaves to the system. As long as we are slaves to the system and we are stuck in a state of fear, which there are constant crises being rolled out all the time to keep us stuck in a state of fear, it is their manipulation tool. That's the way they keep us under control. So now, because we're wired to fail with money, it doesn't mean we have to continue to be wired to fail with money. Now that we know that we're wired to fail with money, now we need to change the game. We need to learn about how the money system works, because there are people who are winning this game of money because they play by different rules. They're not slaves to the system. So how do you do that? You immerse yourself in new information. There's a guy called Mark Moss, Markmoss. I talk about him a lot. He's on YouTube. He talks about he will teach you all the different financial stuff in crypto and all this different stuff to invest in. You've got Robert Kiyosaki, amazing guy, wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and Fake, another really good book. And he talks about fake money, fake education, and fake something else. I can't remember off the top of my head, but great book, read it a couple of years ago. You can read Tony Robbins' books. You can get on their podcasts, but you now need to rewire your brain to succeed with money rather than being a slave to the system. We have a lack of financial literacy education. Imagine if as children we had been taught to play the game of money to win. If we had been taught the rules that the rich and wealthy play by, it'd be a different story, wouldn't it? But there is a reason we're not taught that, because the rich and the wealthy who run the show, who have set this system up for them to win, for them to have all the power and control, they don't want us to know what they're doing, because then they won't have the power and the control, and they won't have 99% of the money, 99% of the wealth. That would be very inconvenient for them. I don't think they'd like that very much. But once we arm ourselves with financial education, we can start to play the game differently. Money is oxygen to your business, your vision, your dream, whatever it might be. So it's time to put, you want to talk about putting masks on. There's only one type of mask that I want you to put on, and it's an oxygen mask. And it's the one that's going to literally fuel your business, your dream, your vision. So money is not the problem. Money does not have a conscience. It does not care whether you're a good person or a bad person. The problem is your relationship with money, your mindset about money, your belief systems about money. So let's talk very quickly about how to be spiritual and wealthy. So there is this huge belief for spiritual people that you cannot be spiritual and wealthy at the same time. I don't know who planted that BS in the spiritual community, but it is BS. And the way you can be spiritual and wealthy is that you adopt the belief that you can be spiritual and wealthy. And at the same time, as I said, there's some really fundamental differences between profit-driven entrepreneurs and impact-driven entrepreneurs. And it's really time for spiritual entrepreneurs to stop putting money as almost making your money irrelevant. What happens for impact-driven, conscious spiritual entrepreneurs is that money is so not important to them that they make it almost irrelevant. And that is a very big mistake. And we can do both. We can be very spiritual. We can make a difference. We can be impact driven, and we can be wealthy AF. So it's a case of looking at our focus and making money and making money, so making profit equally as important as our spiritual pursuits, equally as important as being impact driven and making a difference in the world. And one of the primary differences with a social enterprise or a conscious business is that instead of for a primarily profit-driven business, their number one focus is profit, is money, making the money, dude. And then it's either people and the planet, or planet and the people, a very distant second and third. It's profit above all else, and they don't care what happens along the way, generally speaking. Not all profit-driven enterprises are like that, but a lot of them have been. Whereas a social enterprise, a conscious business, then they turn those priorities around. So it is in people, planet, profit. That does not mean that profit gets ignored. It means that their two priorities are people, the people who are involved, firstly their customers and their employees or their contractors, whoever's involved in the actual enterprise. The planet, it must be environmentally sustainable, environmentally friendly, and then profit. So they will not sacrifice the first two for the third one, but it doesn't mean that profit isn't right up there as a major priority. And this is what we have to do as a spiritual, conscious community. We have to embrace this financial world, this profit-driven world, and we have to run with it because it's a very good system. It's just the wrong people are running the show. So if you want to be spiritual and wealthy, it is time to know that you don't have to choose being one or the other. You get to do both. And you get to live a spiritual, conscious life, changing hundreds, thousands, millions of people's lives, depending on how big your vision and your dream is, and be wealthy at the same time and generate profit at the same time. So the answer to all your money problems is, this is not going to be all a big surprise to you. It is your wealth consciousness, or your relationship with money, basically. So it's your belief systems, your limiting decisions, your fears, your doubts, the things that are telling you that it's not safe, that I'm not good enough, that I don't deserve it. And maybe your values interfere. Maybe you have a values conflict with money, saying that, well, because of the way the world is, and because, and as I said, money is not the problem, but if we look at the world and how profit-driven enterprises have created so many problems and so much suffering in the world, then we can tend to shun money because we go, well, money's the problem. That the whole money is the root of all evil thing. Well, no, they say the love of money is the root of all evil. And I would go one step further and say, I don't even think it's the love of money that is the root of all evil. I think it's the love of money above everything else that is the root of all evil. If you are purely money driven and you don't care about anything else except money, then you have a problem. But if you love people, if you love the planet and you love money, then they are an amazing combination to be able to make a massive difference. So it's rooting out those limiting beliefs, and I'm going to talk about that later on in the presentation. And it's rooting out those limiting beliefs, those stories that are causing you to repel money, to reject money, so you can have a better relationship and better results with money. That is the whole answer. That is it. Change your wealth consciousness. Change your relationship with money. Now, in principle, that sounds easy, but rooting some of this stuff out, the belief systems, because we have something like 60,000 belief systems or programs running the show up in our subconscious, actually finding the key ones that are stopping your progress and stopping you getting the results that you want. That is the tricky part. So this is where you get to do some work. So welcome to all those who have popped in late. I do apologize. I recognize that I sent the wrong link out to people. I didn't send the link out at all to other people. So well done you for actually being able to show up and finding the link eventually. So what I want you to do is, with your pen and your piece of paper, I want you to write down right now, what is your dream? What is your dream? And I want you to suspend all disbelief and just dare to dream huge. What is it that you really want in this world? What is it that you really want to experience? What difference do you really want to make? How do you want your life to look? Who do you want to be living with? Where do you want to be living? What kind of things do you want to be doing? What's your dream? You know, a lot of people actually abandon their dreams because they feel hopeless and helpless. I'm here to light a fire back under that dream for you today. I want you to remember what it's like to dream. What's your dream? I'm going to give you another minute to write out your dream, your vision for your future, what it is that you really want to experience, the life that you truly want to live. Something that really puts a smile on your face. And it might be about you, it might be about your family, it might be about your community. What kind of world do you want to live in? We build a new world by dreaming and then taking action on those dreams. That's how we build our new world, like as in our individual world. And that's how we build a new collective world. We dare to dream. My dream, most people would tell me, like, it'll never happen. Well, I'm willing to at least dream about it. So what's your dream? Now, what's your why? This is a big piece that so many people forget. And anybody who is one of my clients in my Billionaire University program, they know that I have a slight obsession with somebody called Simon Sinek. And he wrote a book called Start With Why. He actually kind of exploded onto the scene, I think about 10 or 12 years ago now, with a TED talk around the why. But the why is so, so important, because if you do not have a compelling why, then overcoming the challenges that you will undoubtedly, you will encounter setbacks. If you have a big dream and a big vision and you're going for it, you are going to encounter setbacks, challenges, failures, disappointments. You're going to be faced with, having to push past barriers and your perceived limits at times. And as I said way back, 20 minutes ago, we all want it to be easy, but the truth is it's not. And as I was sitting there yesterday contemplating this next presentation, because this is a brand new presentation for me, I thought, what is it that people need to hear? Not what do they want to hear? What do they need to hear? And what you need to hear is that although it's not easy, although it will test you, it will be worth it, and you are bigger than any challenge you will ever face. Is there anybody on this call who knows who Lee Dundas is? Lee Dundas. She's a human rights lawyer. Wilma, jealous people? Is that supposed to be jealous people? Had to close the doors all for free. Yeah, that is the reality for a lot of spiritual entrepreneurs, unfortunately. We need to change that equation. And yes, Dominique, don't worry. The problem with Zoom is not your fault. It was mine. It was all mine. I take full responsibility. Linda, no pressure, no diamonds. Yeah, exactly. So Wilma said that she knows Lee Dundas. Now, if you're not familiar with Lee Dundas, LeighDundas, holy crap, that woman is fire. And she works in saving children from a very, very nasty industry. I'm just choosing my words very carefully because I'm probably going to upload this to YouTube, and YouTube's just insane now. So I've got to be very careful with the words that I select. But she works saving children from this industry, which is just the most heinous, like, I just cannot imagine anything worse for any child than what happens to these kids that she saves. And I listened to a story yesterday that I'm not going to tell you the whole story, but it was about her going into really dangerous situations to help to find and save. She doesn't actually rescue the children herself, but she's the facilitator, and then she prosecutes on the other side these criminals. And to hear her speak and her why, I mean, no sane person would go into situations that she goes into. Or there's another guy called Tim Ballard, and there's a movie called Sound of Freedom. If you haven't seen it yet, take a box of tissues and go see it, because it is absolutely incredible. And I know there's people on both sides of the equation, you know, there's lots of controversy around it. I'm not buying into that. The movie itself was unbelievable. And it just, these people and the work that they do, they have a compelling why. Now, I'm not asking you to risk your life here. I'm not asking anybody to risk their lives for whatever your dream or your vision is. But these are extreme examples. Their why is these children. And that what makes them get up every day. That is what makes them go and do the job that they do every day. And look, nobody in their right mind, if it weren't for the sake of the children, if they didn't have a deep sense of compassion and passion for helping these kids, you would not do what they do. So it's an extreme example, but it's very it's a very powerful and poignant example of your compelling why, having a compelling why. So your compelling why may be your kids, or it may be a cause that breaks your heart, that you want to champion, the difference that you want to make in the world. What is that for you? What is your why? And once you connect with that, it's important that you remind yourself every day of what your why is, because it will drive you. And in fact, after I went to see that movie, Sound of Freedom, I'm actually going to put a thing on my wall, say, do it for the kids. I don't have to physically go out and do stuff, but the more conscious entrepreneurs I empower, the more wealth we build in this movement, the more impact we get to have, the more we get to shut down this kind of horrendous, heinous horror that has been allowed to prosper and proliferate for God knows how long, hundreds, if not thousands of years. It hasn't just emerged recently. So anyway, it's a little bit of a downer, but I wanted to give you an example of why your why is so freaking important. So wealth, this is another exercise. I want you to write down what true wealth means for you. This is not just financial. It is financial, but it's not just financial. True wealth. So what does it mean health-wise? What does it mean relationship-wise? What does it mean spiritual wise? Spiritual wise. What does it mean from a career perspective? Living your best life in all aspects. How you spend your time. That to me is true wealth. I want you to write down what wealth means to you in this context. Somebody said beautiful graphic. Thank you. And really start to unpack. A big part of this equation is understanding you. The focus today is squarely on you. I could give you all the information, which I have done in past trainings, and it's not what you need. What you need is to understand you. What drives you? What do you want? So another few seconds to just think about and write down, what does wealth mean to you? Okay. So money means many things to many people, but above all else, money means choice. So it means when you have the financial resources that put you in a state of financial abundance or financial freedom, you have choice. Say, for instance, God forbid, you or somebody you love has a major health challenge. Now, if you're broke AF, then your choices as far as how you tackle that particular problem are extremely limited. But if you have an abundance of money, all of a sudden, you can go down whatever path you choose to be able to overcome that health challenge. And I am a firm believer that the body is an incredible healing mechanism and has the ability to heal pretty much anything, almost anything, depending on how bad it is and how far it's gone without being brought into check, with the right support, whatever that is for the individual. Now, I know in the United States, the medical system can be very expensive. Here in Australia, we're very fortunate. We have we have access to a lot of free medical assistance, but it's not all free. But in the United States, like medical bills are things that really hang over people's heads in the United States. It's quite shocking, really. But there's also natural health alternatives. They ain't cheap either. Now, if you have an abundance of money, you all of a sudden have a much broader range of choice. If you're going to buy a car, if you've got a lot more money, you have a lot more choices available to you. If you want to buy a house, if you've got an abundance of money, you have a lot more choices available to you. If you want to go on a holiday, you have a lot more choices available to you. So money means choice. And then it's up to you what you choose. So what choices do you want to make when you are wealthy, abundant, prosperous, living your best life? So I love this graphic. You are the answer. You are the hero you've been waiting for. Nobody else is coming to save you. You're it. Now, if that's a bit daunting, I understand, but it's also very empowering because you don't have to rely on any third party. It is up to you. And I want you to put your pen down for just a second. You're going to do an exercise, but this does not require your pen. I want you to put your hand on your heart and say, I am infinitely powerful. Repeat it again. I am infinitely powerful. And again, I am infinitely powerful. And one more time with feeling, I am infinitely powerful. Feel that resonate in your whole being. Start to embody that. Start to embed and integrate that belief into every single part of your being. Start to live from that place with passion, with purpose. Start to make that your primary belief, because you are infinitely powerful. You have the ability to change, do, be, and have anything. But until you step into that, you cannot own the game. So it's time to embody that. It's time to leave behind playing small. It's time to buy into all the BS that you have been conditioned, that you're small, that you're powerless. It's rubbish. It's really time to embody who you truly are right now. And if that is all you take away from this class today, then that is the most important piece of transformation that I could possibly bestow on you today. So you're the answer. Own it, live it, be it. Because once you recognize that you have everything within you that you need to achieve anything that you put your mind to, nobody and nothing can take that away from you. Okay, next, let's talk about what you need to be wealthy and successful. So what I want you to think about as we go through these, because this is like the brief foundation of what you need to be wealthy and successful. I want you to think about where you're at specifically, because everybody who watches this presentation is going to be at different places. So Dominique, wealth is being able to do what I want to do when I want to do it. Yes, absolutely. Like travel the world, seeing all the sights of the world. Yes, absolutely. So it's being able to make those choices. So what do you need to be able to have all those choices available to you? Firstly, one of the biggest things that stops people is a lack of self-belief, self-confidence, and self-worth. This is so huge. And if you look at somebody who's been brought up in an environment where they have had their self-confidence, self-belief, and self-worth actually like they have been nurtured in those areas to believe in themselves, to go for whatever their dreams are, to know they are capable of achieving anything. How different is their mindset and the way they live their life compared to somebody who was brought up being told that they're no good, they'll never amount to anything, that all that stuff. Pretty different, isn't it? There's actually a scene in, I recently watched the Think and Grow Rich movie. It's available online. And there was a scene in there, and I forget who it was, but it was like some visionary. When he was a child, he was sent home with a letter. If somebody remembers who it was, just mind blank at the moment. That incredible visionary was sent home with a letter to his mum, and the letter from the teacher basically said, we can't teach a child. He's basically an idiot and he's never going to amount to anything. It's pointless sending him to school. And the child couldn't, well, I don't know if the child could read or not, but in the movie gave the letter because it was addressed to his mum. And of course he didn't open the envelope. So he gave it to his mum, and his mum took it out and she took a breath and she read it to him. And what she read was that basically you're a genius and the teacher can't teach you anything else. So she's going to have to teach him herself, because the teacher just has nothing left for him because he's such a genius. Completely changed the equation. And this man turned up to be an absolute visionary and creating things in the world that literally changed our world. It was like a Thomas Edison or it wasn't Einstein, but it was, you know, somebody of that magnitude. It was like huge. And somebody that we all know, I just can't remember who it was. So clearly it wasn't me. But exactly, brilliant mama and the power of her words. And if she, I mean, that was a massive pivotal point for that child. She could have destroyed him by actually telling him what the letter said and then treating him like that. Or she could do what she did, and she turned that boy into a man who helped to change the world, change all our lives with what he created. So you're all going to have to go and look that up now, because the curiosity is going to kill you, and I'm going to have to look at it when I finish. So the next time I do this presentation, I know the name. But your self-belief, self-confidence, and self-worth is so key. If you do not have massive self-belief and self-confidence at this point, then you need to create it. You need to build it. There is no reason you cannot build that self-belief and self-confidence in yourself. Your unique wealth formula. So this is really interesting in that I recognized through my journey and through helping other people over the years, I realized that the reason so many people struggle financially is because they're being told and bombarded with, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to do something else, you got to be this, you got to do that, you got to have that. It's just so overwhelming, and they're kind of being pulled in so many different directions. But what we really need to hone in is, what is our unique wealth formula? And I experienced this too. You know, I'm a bit of a squirrel, and I've been dragged off in multiple different directions, and I keep getting opportunities presented to me, and I have to run them through a very strict filter now, because one of the biggest things that stops people from being wealthy, apart from their mindset, is their lack of focus. So it is so obvious when somebody chooses a path that is aligned with who they truly are, their unique wealth formula, that is aligned with their values, with their core genius, their unconscious competence, their superpowers, all of that. And they focus on that for, you know, extended periods of time. It's incredible the results that you can get. But if you're dancing around and you think, oh, I have to do this now, and I have to do that, and I have to do something else now, then you're never going to get any traction. So your unique wealth formula is understanding your superpowers. And these are your gifts, your talents, your core genius, your unconscious competence. What do you play at that other people have to work at? And also your skill sets, your knowledge that you have developed over the years, the specific things that make up who you are, because you are incredibly unique. All of these things, if you take one in isolation, there's probably tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people who might have that skill set, that knowledge, that experience, that gift, that talent. But when you put it all together, there is nobody else on the planet who has that. Nobody. None. Zero. You're it. You are freaking it. Now, when you package that up into a wealth creation strategy, it's a game changer. That is not to say that there aren't people out there with strategies and formulas that aren't going to help you in the process. But if you ignore injecting your unique abilities, your superpowers into the equation, then it's just not going to work. The other thing is having the right vision, which we've already worked on, the right vehicle, the right system, the right strategy, the right structure, and the right support. What do I mean by the words the right? It means being in alignment with who you truly are. Who are you? And understanding that at a deep fundamental level. Socrates said, know thyself. So what is in alignment with your core values? What is in alignment with your mission, your purpose, what it is that you came here to achieve? What is in alignment with the life that you want to live? And what is the most effective and efficient way to get from where you want to be, where you are now, to where you want to be as fast as possible? So all of that goes up to make your unique wealth formula. Then, of course, you have to have a plan. If you are failing to plan, you are planning to fail. One of my favorite statements that I say all the time. And it doesn't have to be a very detailed plan, but you have to know the next 2 or 3 steps. And what you want to do is just take the next most logical step. You're not going to know how it's all going to pan out. You don't know how you're going to achieve what you want to achieve, but you have to have some sort of a plan. So the plan starts with the vision and then the next logical step. And then you've got to execute like a ninja on that plan. Of course, your mindset and your beliefs. Are your mindset and your beliefs limiting your ability to achieve, or are they supporting your ability to achieve? Again, fortunately, you are not stuck with a mindset. If you have limiting beliefs, fears, doubts, stories, paradigms, and unconscious conditioning, fears and doubts, self-worth issues, if you have all of that stuff that is stopping you from achieving the results, then you can change it. And again, we're going to talk more about that in just a minute. But your mindset and your beliefs are the foundation that you need to work on. All a work in progress. You don't have to have all this sorted out right now. It's a work in progress. But you need the right mindset and the right beliefs to achieve great things. What's your environment like? So this is something a lot of people don't think about. So do you have the right physical environment? So do you have an environment that you feel uplifted, empowered? If you see my office, I surround myself with the things that really align with my values, with really uplift me. I've got crystals on my desk. I've got unicorns. Love unicorns. I've got my books all around me because I love to learn. I've got my spiritual figurines. That, by the way, in case you're wondering, is a prayer wheel. Is a Tibetan prayer wheel, and there's a little story about that. So we get what we focus on most of the time. So whatever you focus on most of the time, that is what you create, right? So where we used to live on Tambourine Mountain, there was this beautiful shop, and they had all these amazing things from Tibet and the surrounding area. And this showed up one day when I was walking in there, because I used to go in there fairly regularly. I was like, oh my God. And we only had a little house at the time. And I wanted that so bad, so bad. But it was a little bit out of my budget at the time. And I just couldn't justify the purchase because I'm not the kind of person who just spends money on frivolous things. It's got to be meaningful for me. So, but this thing, I just could not forget about it. And the day that I saw it, I went, that's mine. And I told the lady in the shop, I went, that's mine. I'm going to come back for that. So not today, but I will come back for that. Do you know that sat there for 3 years? She said nobody even looked at it after they looked at it, they admired it, but nobody even talked about buying it because I basically claimed it that day. And when we moved to this house, quite a bit bigger internal space, we have the room for it, and I had the money for it. So I was like, yeah, finally, I get my prayer wheel. And I just love that. It is totally handmade. And the story behind it, very quickly, was that somebody had actually commissioned it. They had commissioned having that made personally for them, paid a deposit, never came and picked it up. In 3 years, they never came and picked that up. Like, what the hell? So I don't know what happened to that person, but thank you, whoever you are, thank you. Because I never would have imagined that I would buy something like that. But oh my God, I love having that there. So anyway, I digress. Your environment is so, so, so important. So your physical environment, your people environment, your health environment, your mimetics environment. So your mimetics is things that actually foster your conscious beliefs or your subconscious beliefs. Your everything that empowers you. So setting yourself up in environments that empower you, not disempower you. And it's optimizing your environments that's really, really important. Now, fortunately, with access to the internet, you can actually stack your environment with all the things that you need as far as your mindset is concerned to be able to build a solid mindset that's going to help you to succeed. So they're the things, they're the foundations. Now, depending on where you're at, where are the gaps for you right now? I want you to think of this in the context. What is the number one thing that you are missing? Are you missing parts of all of these things? What is it that you need to work on right now to make the most progress? Now, all of us need to work on all of these things, no matter where we're at in some context. But what's going to get you the most progress to get you from where you are to where you want to be right now? Right now, right this minute. What's the biggest priority for you? Do you need to start working on your mindset more? Do you need to create a plan? Do you need to work on your self-belief? Plan, says Linda. Dominic says he knows the feeling about the prayer wheel. Mind and environment. Yeah. They're big. These things are huge. There is a formula to success. It's being able to identify and recognize what that formula is for you, and then making sure you are executing on that formula. Deborah, giving yourself permission to stand out and shine. Absolutely. Building that solid mindset that gives you permission to be all that you can possibly be. Dominic, mindset and belief. Milena, self-worth, environment. Yeah. A lot of us were. And I grew up in a family that certainly fostered me mentally and emotionally. I didn't have any limitations put on me from my family, but I was bullied at school. And that caused me to believe that it's not safe to stand out. It's not safe to shine. It's not safe to be successful because I was going to get picked on. And look, I was a wimp. I was an absolute wimp as a kid. And it didn't take much, to be honest. And I just, from that point forward, my grades really dropped because I used to perform really well at school. And then I dumbed myself down. My grades dropped. In actual fact, what's really funny is, well, it wasn't funny at the time, but I started to go deaf. And the teachers thought it was because I just wasn't paying attention. But in actual fact, I went to the doctors and I had to have grommets put in my ears because I had these really tiny ear canals and they were closing over. Now, if we think about the fact that we create our reality, why do you think I was going deaf? Because I wanted to shut out all the taunts, all the bullying, all the hate. So it's what we do is really powerful. It was so painful hearing those kids. I would rather be deaf than actually hear what they had to say about me. So fortunately, I live in a time where we had I could have medical intervention and put grommets in my ears to open up my ear canals. And then Mum got me out of that school. So, right. Whatever you can conceive and believe, you can achieve. That was Napoleon Hill. And that's the reason I have underscored and believe, because that is such a big part of the equation. You can dare to dream huge. You have to build the belief that you are capable of achieving it. And there's multiple ways that you can do that, but that all comes back to your mindset. You have to foster a belief that it's possible. Not that you're going to do it. Not that it's going to be easy, but you have to actually build a belief that is possible and it's possible for you. So let's talk briefly about what is your soul mission. So I'm going to give you a minute on each of these questions, maybe not quite a minute, because you can have a look at these later. But what is your soul mission? Discovering your soul mission. What are you passionate about? What lights you up? What sets your heart on fire? What is something that you get into a discussion about, and as soon as you get into the discussion, it's like everybody else's eyes eventually glaze over because you're just like, blah, 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 blah. You can't shut up about it. You just love talking about it. I'm just like that all the time about everything. Nobody can ever shut me up. No, not true. So what are you super passionate about? What do you love to read? What things do you love to read about? What do you love to learn about? What are you passionate about? What breaks your heart? What injustices do you see in the world? What things do you see happening in the world that you just see it and it's just like it makes you mad or it makes you sad, and it's just like, this is so wrong, something has to change. And the thought of actually helping to bring change in that area of the world, it could be the environment, it could be animals, it could be something to do with people, but what is it that breaks your heart? What gets you fired up? We go back to that example of Lee Dundas and what she risks with her own life, her own safety in order to help those children. I mean, that's heartbreaking. It doesn't have to be that intense, mind you, but what is it breaks your heart? What do you stand for? What is it that you stand for in this world? What are you willing to stand up for? So Lee Dundas, she has a book, and that was part of the interview that I was listening to a couple of days ago. Heartbreaking interview. Empowering, but just had me in floods of tears listening to her and speaking about what she does. But her book is called Just Stand Up. And I'm not going to tell you the story because, oh my Lord, it's just the story that inspired the title. But it is time for you to stand up. To stand up for what you stand for in your life and in this world. So recognize what you stand for and be willing to stand up for it. What feeds your soul? So in case you hadn't noticed, I do these classes and these trainings quite regularly. I love them. I love to teach. I love to empower others. In my coaching programs, I love working with people and seeing them get breakthroughs. I love helping them to believe in themselves. I love being on stage. I haven't done that in a long time. I need to do more of that. But, you know, that's part of a deep part of who I am, is being on stage. I love to sing. It feeds my soul. What feeds your soul? Now, some people, when I ask them, what's your purpose? What's your passion? They're kind of like, I don't know. Yeah, you do. You absolutely do. You came in knowing. You may have forgotten. You may have had it conditioned out of you, but you know. Don't think that you don't. You know. Make it a quest to find out what your soul mission is. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Dominique. Yes, that was the last time I sang publicly, actually. Well, for a large-ish audience. So what feeds your soul? If you think about, I talk about putting yourself out of your comfort zone. I have stood and I've sung for 10,000 people at, many years ago now, but that is so nerve-wracking. Even with all my training and everything that I've done and all my experience for performance and the fact that I love it, I love it, love it, love it. I love being on stage. I light up when I'm on stage. Still freaks the crap out of me. Like, I get so nervous before I perform. That was my phone. I should turn that sound off on my phone. It still puts me way out of my comfort zone. I'm still terrified I'm going to forget my words, make a mistake, hit on a bum note. You know, it's like so much could go wrong. But it feeds my soul. And, you know, it's really finding that thing for you, because that is the only way, as far as I'm concerned, to live your life, doing what feeds your soul. What problem are you uniquely equipped to solve? So, this is about coming back to your superpowers, your knowledge, your skills, your experience, your expertise. Because when you build wealth, you are going to be solving a problem for a group of people. You are going to be providing a solution for a group of people. So, what solution can you provide to a problem that you are uniquely equipped to solve? It doesn't mean you're the only one who can solve it. Uniquely equipped to solve doesn't mean you're the only one who can solve it, but there's a specific way that is unique to you that you solve it. So that's a great question for you to ponder. It's a big one. What problem are you uniquely equipped to solve? That is about unpacking your core genius, which comes back to your superpowers, which I've already mentioned. So what are your superpowers? What do you play out that other people have to work at? What do you love to do that you just get lost in? What do people compliment you on about what you do? What really comes easily to you? So, you know, that thing that you do that everybody goes, how is that so easy for you? And in your head you go, how's that not easy for you? It's just like, you know, falling off a log. Like, how can that not be easy for you? Of course it's easy. It's just easy. No, it's easy for you. So uncovering your superpowers. And that comes back to, all of this comes back to, what's your unique wealth formula? So all of these things are a part of your soul mission. So write those down. They're good ones to ponder later on. How to make success inevitable. Number 1, you make it non-negotiable. Number 2, you develop an unstoppable mindset. Number 3, you create a plan. Number 4, you take action until you succeed. How do you make success and wealth inevitable? You just keep taking action until you achieve them. You never, ever, ever, ever give up. So making success inevitable isn't, the equation isn't hard. The principle isn't hard. It's you being willing to stay in the game, because you actually don't know how long it's going to take. You cannot predict that. You don't know what challenges you're going to face along the way. You don't know the journey until you take it. You have no idea the people that you're going to encounter. You have no idea what you're going to need to learn along the way, the skills you're going to develop. You might have some idea. But it is being willing every single day to get up, to think, what is the action I need to take today to get me the most progress to achieving my goals, to making it happen. And you take action on those things until you succeed. Some days you're going to make huge progress. Some days you're going to feel like, oh my God, I just wasted a day. Or maybe there's going to be times you think I just wasted a week. But as long as you are taking action, you are getting feedback. You are learning. You are figuring out the process of success. Success is a journey and a process. Fall in love with the journey and everything that comes with it. Because as long as you make it non-negotiable, you develop an unstoppable mindset, because that's the foundation of everything. You create a plan and then you take action on that plan until you succeed. You just can't fail. Even if you don't achieve the big vision or the big dream, I mean, if you think about my desire to impact 1 billion people, is that possible in my lifetime? Abso-freaking-lutely. Oh, well, depending on when I die, of course. If I die tomorrow, maybe not. Fingers crossed. Spirit, I want to be around for a bit longer than that. But I think I've got a few more years left in me yet. Could I do it in my lifetime? I believe I can. But even if I create change in enough people's lives that in 40 years' time, in 50 years' time, in 100 years' time, 1 billion people are impacted by what I did, then that is my mission accomplished. So whatever you put in place now, whatever action you take contributes to the ultimate outcome. And you just have to keep contributing in a positive way to that outcome every day until you achieve the outcome. That's it. So the world is changing. Everything is changing. AI changes the game for online entrepreneurs. We are seeing situations in the world where AI is actually going to rob 30-40% of people of their jobs by the end of this decade, I believe. It's not a long time. It's 7 years, 6.5 actually. Now, that means that there's going to be a lot more people who do not have the ability to earn an income. The powers that be have been speaking for years about a UBI, universal base income. Let me tell you, that ain't a lot of money. It's like survival mode. So AI, however, can empower a whole stack of entrepreneurs, literally changes the game. Changes the game. So now entrepreneurs have the ability to leverage AI to build wealth and build it fast. And there's a gazillion ways out there to do that. I mean, AI, it wasn't even really being, AI itself was being discussed and has been for years, but it didn't really arrive until like the beginning of this year. I found out about it. It sort of launched onto the scene the end of last year, the end of 2022, and it has literally taken over the entrepreneurial online space. It's just everyone's talking about AI. Everybody's doing programs on AI. Everybody's building AI software. It's just like just exploding, and it's a game changer. How are you going to change the game? You are a game changer. How are you going to change the game? With your presence, with your unique wealth formula. How are you going to become the game changer in your industry? And don't tell me that you can't do it. BS, because I know that you can. So how are you going to be the game changer in your space? How are you going to change the game for you? How are you going to change the game for others? How are you going to disrupt the space that you play in? So another example is Alex Hormozi. If you don't know who he is, he wrote a book called $100 Million Offers, something, I think the subtitle is How to Make Offers People Feel Stupid Saying No To, or something like that. Great book. He launched another book 2 weeks ago. That was $100 million leads. Now, during the launch, I actually got up at 2 o'clock in the morning to listen to it, believe it or not. But during the launch, he sold hard. So Alex Hormozi, huge in the online space, and has built several multi-million-dollar businesses. So he knows what he's talking about. And he's entering in the game of course creation, right? So this launch, which he used, I think he had about 500,000 people sign up for the actual launch. And he was pitching these courses that he has put together based on his experience and expertise in marketing and all the rest of it to build his businesses. And he sold it so hard, and we're all sitting there. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm going, yep, okay, yeah, right, all right, yeah. What's it going to cost? What's it going to cost? Okay, come on, give us the cost. And he's just pitching. And he gets to the end, and it's nothing. It's $0. He gave the whole thing away to all of us. We didn't have to pay anything for it. Now, I was half asleep at the time, and I was like, I sat up and went, what the hell? What just happened? Nobody does that. Nobody except Alex Hormozi. He changed the game because he knows that the money that he's going to make is not on selling a course. It's in the back end. So, and the vast majority of people who get that course for free won't do anything with it. They will never even open it. I actually have to set aside time to go through. I think there's 8 courses in there. It's ridiculous, but I have to set aside time to go through those courses. But he knows that the vast majority of people don't have what it takes to be able to execute on that and produce the right results. And what will they do when they don't get the results? They're going to get him, of course. So he changed the game. He built rapport. He knocked value out of the park. Like, it was ridiculous. Course creators are going, oh no, I can't compete with that. No, you can't, but you shouldn't be competing. You should be creating. How can you change the game now? How can you add something new to course creation? So how are you going to be the game changer in your space? There is so much that is changing right now, and there are so many opportunities ripe for the picking. So the world needs you to be wealthy. I'm not going to harp on this. I'm going to wrap this up in the next 10 minutes. He is amazing, Anne-Marie. Yes, I love him too. He's incredible. So the world needs you to be wealthy. Why? I've already said it. Because when you have more money, you create greater impact. And we need more impact-driven entrepreneurs who are wealthy AF, doing their thing, helping people, making a positive impact in the world and changing the world. I want you to be building your empire. I want you to be impacting as many people as you want to impact. I want you to be living the life that you want to live and creating a difference in the world at the same time. And what's important is that you put your mask on first. This is a very, very big piece of the puzzle. And it's another thing that spiritual entrepreneurs and conscious entrepreneurs tend to neglect. But the fact of the matter is, you cannot give from an empty cup. And if you do not put your mask on first, if you do not look after your needs, your wants, your desires, then your ability to serve others is seriously diminished. So that needs to be your number one focus. If you are, if your oxygen mask is not on yet, then you need to put that on. And you need to be able to create the financial security and the financial abundance that gives you the ability to then put the masks on for others. So I've said it before, building true wealth is not a spectator sport. You need to get in the game and you need to play, and you need to play hard. I don't think life was meant to be hard. I also don't think that life was meant to be easy. I believe in striving to achieve. I believe in the accomplishment that comes with achieving something that was hard, that caused you maybe even some sense of grief along the way, as in it really stretched you. I believe that there is nothing more rewarding than achieving something that seemed almost impossible. Actually, talking about impossible, and these stories just pop into my head. So I told this on one of the last trainings, and it was a scene out of Mission Impossible where Tom Cruise performed this insane stunt. They're calling it the hardest stunt that has ever been performed in the history of filmmaking. It took 2 years to construct it and to execute it safely. Basically, they had to build a ramp. They had to engineer the ramp to the millimeter in specifications to launch Tom Cruise off a cliff on a motorbike so he could parachute down on the other side. Now, it took them 2 years with him performing the stunt on land, you know, thousands of times, and knowing that motorbike intimately, knowing his skills intimately. And then when the day came to perform that stunt, he did that 6 times that day. He performed that stunt and lived 6 times. It absolutely was spectacular. It was spectacular. You know, just to see the engineering that went into it, obviously tens of millions of dollars that went into constructing that one stunt for a few seconds of film. For a few seconds of film. Like, it's completely freaking crazy. But they did it. And I cannot imagine the feeling of Tom Cruise when he executed that jump perfectly. And they got the footage and he did it 6 times. Like, it's crazy, man. Absolutely crazy. Yeah, worth every penny. And I'm sure they thought so too. So in order to get to that level of that skill set and to execute that, the amount of man hours, hundreds, probably hundreds of thousands of man hours, but by the team to get to that result that they wanted. Crazy, crazy, crazy. 90% of your success is mindset. I actually think it's more like 92 to 96%, but at least 90% of your success is mindset. You build an unstoppable mindset, you're going to achieve anything. So you must constantly work on your mindset, because you are capable of achieving anything you put your mind to. You just need the right mindset. So always make it your number one priority to always work on your mindset, clearing out the fears, the doubts, the limiting beliefs, the stories, the paradigms, the blocks, the subconscious programming that is telling you that it's not safe, you're not good enough, you don't deserve it. Crush that crap. Crush it. Make it your bitch. Like, if you are going to ever live the life that you want to live, this is key. You must build an unstoppable mindset. It's the foundation of everything. And you have the tools to do it. There is nothing stopping you from building an unstoppable mindset except your willingness to do it and to take action and to go through the process, to dedicate yourself to it. So who are you? And who do you need to become to achieve the great dream that you wrote down over an hour ago now? Who are you now? And who do you need to become the person you need to be to achieve that dream? That's a big question. So, whoops. Money loves speed. So, in order to create wealth, you can do it the slow way or you can do it the hard way. Now, in order to create wealth fast, you need to have the right knowledge, the right skill sets, the right systems, the right structures, the right strategies. So the basic equation for any business is creating leads, then creating sales. So you need a leads generation system, you need a sales system, you need a fulfillment or a product system. They're the 3 primary things. You might need a support system in the back end to, a client support system. But they are the 3 primary things that you must have in any business: lead generation system, sales system, and a fulfillment system. So what is one of the fastest ways to be able to do that? An online business, of course. There are so many, and I've dwelled on this in previous trainings. So there's so many reasons to go for an online business. Low startup cost, you can work from anywhere, anytime. So location and time freedom, global audience, you are not limited by a local existence. abundance of business models. There are just a gazillion business models to choose from. Fast and effective delivery, regardless of whether you have a physical product or an online product. Massive leverage. So leverage is really, really important, and particularly with the explosion of AI into the space, huge leverage, which leverage is all about using resources to amplify your efforts. So you have different infrastructure or people or whatever. That means that whatever you do is then multiplied 5 times, 10 times, 100 times over by the leverage that you build into your business. And there's so many ways you can do that. You can make money 24/7. You can make money while you're asleep. That is so good. Zero limits on your ability to have the income and the impact, and multiple streams of income. So an online business, just a really smart choice. And the different online business vehicles, there are more than this, but the primary ones: e-commerce, affiliate marketing, online education, coaching and consulting, investing and trading, professional. You can actually take professional services online, or any regular service. So I use this example when I do this, and that is, if you are a massage therapist, you'd be like, well, I can't take my massage service online. Well, no. But what do you know about the body that you can teach people that can help them to solve a problem? What do you have a product that you like, that you work with your clients, or you share with your clients, that can help them to solve a problem? So you can always take what it is that you know and then share it in a way online, or have a product that you can share online that is complementary to your current service if what you do is physical. And then, of course, multi-level marketing and network marketing. It's a very, very good business model. It's been done very badly over the years by a lot of different companies, which has earned it a pretty sorry reputation, unfortunately. But multi-level marketing and network marketing is a very sound business model. So don't dismiss it. It's a great way for entrepreneurs to get started, and some entrepreneurs make millions of dollars out of it. So you just have to have the right formula. It's all about having the right formula ultimately. So all of healing your relationship with money. So we're coming to the end. You need to identify the conflicts. What does money mean to you? You need to release the fears, limiting beliefs, and lack of self-worth. You need to create new empowering beliefs. You need to align wealth with your core values, and you need to lock on to wealth. It needs to be a dominant focus for you, and be completely congruent with your wealth creation strategy, and with wealth, and with money, and with being rich. All of that, you need to be congruent. So in order to heal your relationship with money, it's just changing your mindset, basically. All of that, changing your mindset about money, about wealthy people, whatever limiting decisions you have, get rid of it, crush that stuff. It's not serving you. And of course, you know that my favorite tool for that is EFT tapping, and you have access to dozens and dozens and dozens of videos that can help you to rewire your brain for money, wealth, abundance, and success, because I created them for you. I recorded them, and they are up in the Wealth Consciousness Movement library, all there for you to use daily to be able to shift your mindset. So you've been given everything that you need to create change in your life. Are you using it to the best of its advantage? Okay, so I promised you today we were going to talk about the answer to all your problems, your wealth consciousness. The reason why most people never achieve their goals is because they're too addicted to comfort and convenience, and they don't go all in, and they're not willing to do the hard work to get the results. The key to being spiritual and wealthy is being willing to be spiritual and wealthy, to know that they can coexist. To discover the way to discover your soul mission, how to impact millions and build wealth fast, that's online. How to heal your relationship with money. And I still haven't told you yet about the 7 keys to unlocking the secrets of the universe. But first, you are just one decision away from wealth, freedom, and success. You are always just one decision away from creating a new path, a new trajectory. What you do now matters. What you decide next matters. And you've got to treat every decision as in this area as if it matters. So what are you going to decide? What is your next step? And whatever you decide your next step is going to be incredibly impactful in the results that you ultimately get. So this is an important decision. Now, you can either get to where you're going in the contraption at the top, which looks pretty sleek and will probably get you there pretty fast, or if the blue thing on the bottom is the thing that you're using to get to where you want to be right now, it'll probably be a very scenic journey, but it doesn't even look like it's going to get you there in the long run. So what vehicle are you going to use to be able to achieve your goals and dreams? Do you want to use the vehicle that's on top, or do you want to keep putting along in the vehicle on the bottom on a hope and a prayer and hope that it gets you there eventually? So it's your decision, it's your choice. Personally, I recommend going with the one on the top. So what will that look like for you? You need to choose which path to take. And I was actually going to do a very quick exercise here, but I'm running overtime as always. So Dominique, yes, make it your bitch. Actually, I'm going to quickly do this very quick exercise. It'll just take about 3 to 4 minutes. So we are almost at the end, I promise. I want you to close your eyes. And I want you to see yourself on a path. And just ahead of you, there is a fork in the road. So you take the fork to the left. And this is the choice of spirituality. And it is fulfilling. It feeds your soul. And as you continue walking along this path and you feel really good on this spiritual path, connected to source, you notice that the bills are piling up. Your finances aren't looking great. You're feeling spiritually fulfilled, but you have very little money. You're broke. And you're struggling financially, and that's really hard. Now, I want you to come back to the fork in the road, and I want you to take the path to the right. Now, on the path to the right, you've abandoned your spiritual pursuits, but you're making money. You're making lots of money. And that feels good. You're having the time of your life. You're having fun. You're making choices and decisions that you couldn't make before. Everything, you're feeling secure. Everything is paid for. It just feels amazing. And then you realize you feel unfulfilled. It's like this hollow spot in the middle of your heart. Something's not right. You feel empty inside. You yearn for that spiritual fulfillment again. The money's great, but you really need spirit in your life. So you come back to the fork in the road. Now, as you come back to the fork in the road, there's another path that you can barely see just in front of you. It's all kind of grown over, but you can just faintly see this path. And as you take this path, it starts to open up. It gives you spiritual fulfillment, and it helps you to build wealth. So you have the best of both worlds. You are spiritually fulfilled. You feel a deep sense of soul connection to all that you do. You're making a difference in the lives of others. You're recognizing how that looks and how that feels to make a difference to the lives of others. And the money is flowing and it's growing. The more you walk down the path, the more money flows, the more abundance, the more spiritually connected you feel. This is your path. So I want you to take a breath. I want you to embody that feeling as you come back and open your eyes. That's how important your decisions are. They take you on different paths. Which path will you choose? So before I tell you very quickly about the secrets to unlocking the secrets of the universe, if you feel like working with me is going to help to open your path for you, then you can book a free strategy session with me here. If you are because you're spiritual entrepreneur and you are broke AF right now, and this you feel like is not an option for you, and remember, it's not about your resources, it's about your resourcefulness. But if you feel like you're broke AF right now and you can't possibly find a way to be able to work with me, then what I have given you so many resources. Get into those EFT tapping videos. Use what I have provided for you here today and get determined. Make sure that you take action. You create a plan, you take action on that plan, and you do it relentlessly every single day. You back yourself all the way. Then when you're ready to work with me, you can book a strategy call here. But if you already feel like, no, that's it, you have to work with me, or you at least want to explore the possibility, I'm not a hard salesperson, so I'm not going to sell you on the call. If it makes sense for us to work together, then for sure, I will tell you about my programs. But on a strategy call, I will help you in 3 ways. I will work with you to solve the biggest challenge you're facing in your business right now. I will help you to achieve more clarity on the future and profitability of your business, and I will help to create a customized strategic action plan to create wealth while fulfilling your soul mission, your purpose, and building a legacy. So you can stay stuck here, or you can experience this. It's up to you. Here or here. Which one do you want? Everything is a decision. Everything is a choice. So I'm glad that helped, Milena. So if there are any questions, please type them in the chat, and glad you liked it. So the secrets of the universe: flow, not hustle. We have a hustle mentality in the success world. I don't believe in hustling. I do believe in hard work, not all the time. I don't kill myself. I have a nice life. But getting into flow, so getting into that congruence and that alignment, and then choosing to partner with the universe. So the universe is there to support you. You're very welcome, Anne-Marie. The universe is there to support you 24/7. But you have to ask for help. You have to deliberately partner with the universe. If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Nikola Tesla. And imagination is more important than knowledge, for knowledge is limited, whereas imagination embraces the entire world, stimulating progress and giving birth to evolution. Einstein. So get into the right frequency and the right vibration. Get congruent. Get into the mindset where you are totally in alignment. You need to be in full alignment with your mission, your vision, your purpose. You need to be in full alignment with the action that you take. You need to be in full alignment with the strategies and the structures that you put in place, because that all comes back to your frequency and vibration. And you need to have the right mindset. So, and unlocking the secrets of the universe, clarity. Get absolutely clear on what it is that you want, on your dream, your vision, your mission, your purpose. Focus on it relentlessly. Keep becoming the person you need to be every day. Keep growing, keep expanding, keep pushing yourself. Get into a state of being. Everything is about a state. Get into a state of being that is positive. Gratitude, attitude of gratitude, baby. Get into a state of being that actually supports you to create magic in your life. And the last one is one I made up. Trust, relax, allow, lean in, and let go. Trust, relax, allow, lean in, let go. That doesn't mean you're not taking action, but you are taking action from a place of frequency and vibration that offers no resistance. So your fears, your doubts, your lack of self-worth and self-belief, all of that stuff is resistance. So when you trust, relax, allow, lean in, let go, you change your frequency and you take action from a place of no resistance. That's when magic unfolds. Oh, glad of that, Deborah. I changed it today. I thought it was going to be shorter, but it wasn't. It was almost 2 hours. Wilma, terrific. Oh gosh, Wilma, I didn't know you're obviously in Europe. That is 4 a.m. Good for you for staying up, beautiful lady. Thank you for your presence. The universe is our partner. Absolutely. So that's it for today's presentation. I'm going to love you and leave you, but know that you are infinitely powerful, that you have the ability to create anything in your life, that magic is unfolding, and back yourself all the freaking way. Just back yourself. So thank you everybody so much.
Thank you very much. Lovely to see you.
Lovely
I've
to
been
see you
absent
too.
for a while, but that's another story. But oh my God, I just had to be here tonight. Thank
I'm
you very,
glad.
very much.
I'm glad. I'm glad. So thank you. It's lovely to see you again, Dominique. And I will see you again in future. Until next time.
Yes, definitely.
Bye.
Be blessed. Be safe.
You too.